Welcome to the Gym Success Podcast.
Yes, welcome. We're here for gym owners, operators, gym entrepreneurs, and personal trainers.
Basically, if you're in the business of fitness and looking to grow, you're in the right place. We've both been navigating this industry for, well, let's just say a long time.
Indeed. About 30 years each, give or take. So we've seen a lot.
And today, we're tackling something really fundamental if you're looking for growth that needs, well, money.
Right. We're diving into a white paper by jthomas, who's a real expert in the gym business space.
The paper's called How to Write a Gym Business Plan That Raises Money.
And our goal today isn't just to, read through it. We want to pull out the really practical, actionable stuff for you.
Exactly. So if you're thinking about starting a new gym, maybe expanding your current one or adding major new services, and you need funding,
Yeah, whether that's from a bank or maybe angel investors, even private equity.
this paper really zeroes in on what those funding sources need to see. It's crucial.
That's the key point Jim makes, right? This isn't just like a document you write and file away.
No.
When you're trying to raise capital, this business plan becomes your main sales tool. It's got to do more than just talk about how great your workouts are,
Though that's important too, of course.
of course. But the plan has to sell your vision. It needs to prove the numbers work, the financial side.
So it's viable.
Exactly. And show, really convincingly, that you've got the team and the actual strategy to pull it off and, give the funder a return.
I've seen this so often. People pour their hearts into the plan, detailing the training, the community feel, which is great. It really is.
But Jim points out that common trap of the plan ends up being light on the actual economics.
Right. And funders, well, they need to see the path to profitability. They're investing in a business, not just a passion project.
So, to get that money, the plan needs to first get them excited. It has to answer all those tough questions they're definitely going to ask.
Anticipate them.
Yes, and show a really clear, believable path to that return on investment, the ROI.
So it's about proving the concept is sound, the leadership is trustworthy, and the execution plan makes sense. It's about building confidence.
That sums it up perfectly. Jim's message is you need to make a compelling case for their capital, their trust, and their confidence.
Okay, so let's break it down. Where does Jim suggest starting this process?
He kicks things off with what he calls the hook. That's the executive summary.
The hook, okay, like an elevator pitch?
Pretty much, yeah. Think of it as your handshake on paper. For busy investors or lenders, honestly, this might be the only part they read really closely at first.
Wow, okay, so it has to be strong.
Incredibly strong and concise, usually just one page, and needs to make them want to read the rest.
All right, so what absolutely has to be on that single page to grab them?
You need the essentials, the high points. First, your business name and concept.
Yeah.
Be super clear. Jim uses an example like PulseFit Studio, a high-end boutique HIIT studio.
Specific, I like it.
Then, your mission and vision. What's the big picture? What problem are you solving? Maybe for PulseFit, it's transform urban wellness through efficient, community-driven group workouts.
Okay, the what and the why.
Quick and clear. Then list your key offerings. How will you actually make money? 30-minute HIIT classes, recovery lounge, personal training, branded apparel, something like that.
The revenue streams.
Exactly. And then, critically, the part funders zoom in on the financial snapshot.
The numbers. Right on page 1.
Absolutely non-negotiable. How much funding are you asking for? What are your projected revenues, say, for year one? And a big one, when do you hit break even?
So using that PulseFit example.
Maybe something like seeking $150,000, projected year one revenue $480,000, break even expected by month 9. See? Concise, specific numbers.
That tells a story quickly.
It does. And wrap up that snapshot with the funding ask itself. How much and what's the deal? Like offering 10% equity for a $150,000 investment?
Okay. And Jim has a tip about when to write this section.
Yeah, a really important one. Write this section last.
Oh, interesting. But put it first.
Exactly. You can only summarize effectively once you've actually worked through all the details in the rest of the plan. But structurally, it belongs right at the beginning.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've hooked them with the summary. They're turning the page. What's next?
Next up is the company description. This section is where you really establish your identity. You're answering that question that's always in a funder's mind. Why this business? Why you?
Defining your place in the market.
Precisely. You need to clarify your legal structure, LLC, S-Corp, whatever it is. Introduce the ownership and the founding team. And here, you want to highlight relevant experience, not just fitness, but business management, marketing, finance.
Real business chops.
Yes. Then describe your facility, the location, the size, the layout. Detail your core services again, maybe with a bit more flavor. And crucially, emphasize your differentiators.
What makes you stand out from the crowd?
Exactly. Is it a niche, like women only, or sports performance? Unique amenities like childcare or a recovery zone? Maybe 204/7 access. Special tech. You need to spell out what makes you different and better.
So painting that clear picture. Who, where, and
Okay.
what's special.
Right. And once that's clear, Jim moves to step 3, the market analysis. This is all about proving there's actually a demand for what you offer.
Show you've done your homework.
More than just homework, you need to show deep understanding. Analyze the demographics in your target area, income levels, age groups, population trends, fitness spending habits.
Real data.
Absolutely. And a competitor matrix is essential. Who are your competitors, direct and indirect? What are their strengths or weaknesses? What are their prices? Where are the gaps you can fill?
So you know the battlefield.
You have to. Also discuss market trends. Is group fitness hot? Is recovery a growing thing? Hybrid models. Define your specific target customer profile. Who are they really? Their goals, their problems, their habits.
And the SWOT analysis.
Yes, definitely include a SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. It shows structured thinking about your position. Strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external market factors.
Okay, this really grounds the whole plan in reality.
It does, and Jim's pro tip here is vital. Use credible data sources. Don't just guess. Cite census data, industry reports, local chamber of commerce info, even competitor reviews. Data builds credibility like nothing else.
Solid advice. Okay, step 4. Services and pricing. Turning the concept and market opportunity into actual money.
Right. This is where you show your revenue strategy. Like Jim says, funders want to see predictable revenue streams. So lay out your full menu of services, everything that brings in cash. Classes, PT, recovery, maybe retail, nutrition coaching.
The whole offering.
Yep. Detail your membership pricing clearly, tiers, monthly versus annual options, any package deals.
And going beyond just the basic membership fee.
Yes, upsells are key. What's your plan for selling more personal training? Premium workshops, branded gear, ancillary services like smoothie bars or meal plans.
And keeping the members you get.
Crucial. Your retention tactics. How do you plan to keep people engaged and paying long term? Loyalty programs, referral bonuses, community events, maybe using an app for accountability.
All important for recurring revenue.
Definitely. And Jim highlights something funders often look at, a revenue per square foot analysis.
Revenue per square foot. Why is that so important?
It shows you understand how efficiently you're using your space, which is usually your biggest fixed cost besides maybe payroll. A higher number suggests you're maximizing the income potential of your facility. It's a key metric for business health in this industry. Shows you're smart about your assets.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Moving on to step 5, the marketing and sales plan. How you're actually going to fill the gym.
This is critical. You need to prove you can not only attract leads, but actually convert them into paying members. A great gym with no members doesn't work.
True that.
So detail your launch plan. How are you going to make a splash for the grand opening? Think of local media, community partnerships, maybe influencer outreach, pre-sale campaigns.
Get that initial buzz going.
Exactly. Then your ongoing digital strategy. This is huge today. What's your plan for paid social ads? SEO, making sure people find you on Google, lead generation systems, email marketing, and automation for nurturing leads.
And connecting with the local community.
Essential. Your community integration plan. Cross promotions with other local businesses, sponsoring events, getting involved locally. Then, the really crucial part, your conversion strategy.
Turning leads into members.
Yes. What do your tour scripts look like? How do you train staff to handle objections? It's too expensive. I don't have time. What's your follow-up process for people who don't sign up immediately? It needs to be systematic.
And keeping them once they join.
Right. Retention marketing. That overlaps a bit with retention tactics, but here it's about the ongoing communication member, perks, fitness challenges, social events, anything that keeps them engaged and feeling part of the community.
Jim's insight here is pretty blunt, isn't it? Sales-savvy owners get funded.
It is, because marketing without a solid sales conversion process is just burning cash in a funder's eyes. You need to show you can close the deal.
Okay, step 6 gets into the nuts and bolts, the operations plan.
Yeah, this shows you've thought through the day-to-day reality of running the gym efficiently and professionally.
It proves you're building a real business with systems, not just, creating a job for yourself.
Precisely. So you detail things like your planned hours of operation, your staffing plan, Who do you need? What roles? Certifications required? Pay structure? Maybe even an org chart?
The team structure.
Yep. Your equipment list, what do you need? And crucially, include vendor quotes to back up the costs you put in your financial plan. Explain. Member check-in access key fobs. Front desk. What's the system?
And the tech side.
Right. Your software stack. What systems will you use? CRM for managing members and leads. POS for sales. Scheduling software. Billing software. Naming specific systems shows you've done the research.
Shows you're planning for efficiency.
Absolutely. And finally, key policies. Safety rules, hygiene standards, cancellation policies, liability waivers, shows you're thinking about risk management and the practicalities.
Good stuff. Step 7 shifts back to the people, the management team.
Because, as Jim emphasizes, investors bet on people as much as ideas. This section is your chance to showcase the strength of your leadership.
Show you have the right crew to steer the ship.
Exactly. Include detailed founders' bios, but focus on relevant experience, business management, sales, finance, previous ventures, not just how long you've been lifting weights.
Right, the business side.
Definitely. List any key hires you've made or plan to make a strong general manager, top trainers, marketing lead, admin support. Mention any advisors or consultants, legal, financial, mentors. Their names can add credibility.
Leverage their expertise.
For sure. Include a hiring timeline if you haven't hired everyone yet, and briefly describe your plan for staff development, onboarding, ongoing training, maybe career paths. Shows you're thinking about building a sustainable team.
Builds that crucial confidence in the human element. Okay, now for the big one. Step 8. The financial plan. The deal breaker section.
Yeah, Jim doesn't mince words there. This is where everything comes together in numbers. You have to prove the business is profitable, sustainable, and can actually pay back loans or provide investor returns.
This can be the scary part for a lot of fitness pros, right? The spreadsheets.
It can feel daunting, but it's where funders spend a lot of time. You need a clear breakdown of startup costs, everything from the build-out and equipment to initial marketing spend, and, importantly, a cash buffer for those early months.
Covering all the initial outlays.
Yes. Then your ongoing operating expenses, rent, utilities, salaries, software fees, insurance, marketing budget, supplies, maintenance. Be thorough.
And the income side.
Your revenue forecast. This needs to be detailed. Break it down by source, different membership tiers, personal training packages, retail sales, etc. Show your assumptions clearly. How many members, paying how much, joining at what rate.
And the magic number, break even.
The break-in analysis, absolutely. How much revenue or how many members do you need each month just to cover your costs? Provide a detailed 12-month cash flow projection showing cash in, cash out month by month. Super important for the startup phase.
Shows you understand cash flow dynamics.
Crucial. Then project your income statements, profit and loss, for years 1 through 3 at least. A projected balance sheet too. And finally, outline the repayment or exit strategy. How do funders get their money back plus a return?
And Jim's tip about building these forecasts.
It's key. Build them bottom up. Don't just pluck a big revenue number out of the air. Start with realistic assumptions. How many leads can your marketing generate? What's your conversion rate? What's the average revenue per member? Build up from there. It's much more credible.
Makes total sense. Okay, nearly there. Step 9, the funding request. Time to make the ask.
Right. After building that whole case, you need to be clear, confident, and specific about what you need and why.
No beating around the bush.
None. State the total funding request amount clearly. Then provide the fund allocation. Where's every single dollar going? $80K for build out, $40 for equipment, $20K for marketing launch, $10K working capital. Itemize it.
Transparency is key.
Absolutely. Specify the type of deal you're looking for. A loan, selling equity, a convertible note. Define the proposed return plan interest rate for a loan, projected equity value growth for investors, and provide a clear timeline. When do you need the funds? When do you launch? What's the ramp-up look like?
And the advice is, be bold, specific, strategic. Don't be vague here.
Exactly. Finally, step 10 is the appendix. This is where you put all the supporting documents.
The evidence locker.
Good way to put it. Yeah, this backs up everything you've claimed. Include things like professional facility photos, or, if it's not built yet, architectural renderings, sample marketing materials, ads, emails, actual vendor quotes for big-ticket items like equipment.
Proof for your numbers.
Right. Copies of key trainer certifications. Your signed lease, or at least a letter of intent, LOI, for the location. A sample class schedule, and, if you have them, signed LOIs from pre-sale members or corporate clients. Huge credibility booster.
That pre-sale proof is powerful.
It really shows traction. And Jim adds a bonus tip. Toss in any positive testimonials or endorsements you might have.
Nice touch. Okay, so beyond those 10 core steps, Jim throws in a few extra tips for writing a plan that actually gets results, gets funded.
Yeah, quick but important ones. First, tell a story with numbers. Don't just present data. Use it to illustrate the growth narrative of your business. Make
Right.
the financials compelling.
Let the numbers paint the picture.
Right. Second, use visuals, charts, graphs, floor plans. They make complex info much easier to grasp quickly and make the plan more engaging.
Break up the text.
Exactly. Third, practice your pitch. You need to be able to summarize your entire plan verbally, maybe in just 90 seconds. Be ready for that elevator pitch moment.
Because you'll likely have to present it, not just email it.
Almost certainly. Fourth, get professional review. Have someone with finance or industry experience read your draft. They'll catch things you missed.
Fresh eyes are invaluable.
Definitely. And finally, show commitment. Funders want to see you have skin in the game. Show your own investment, whether it's cash, significant time already invested, or sweat equity. Prove you're all in.
So wrapping this all up, the core message from Jim Thomas's white paper seems clear. A business plan designed to raise money isn't just a description. It's a persuasive argument.
It's a sales document, really. It has to prove the concept works, the team is capable, and the plan is solid enough to earn that investment.
It needs to build trust and confidence.
Absolutely. Jim's bottom line is, don't just write a document, write a compelling case for investment.
Well, hopefully this discussion, digging into Jim's framework, has given you, our listeners, a really solid roadmap for putting together that kind of powerful business plan.
Yeah, getting funding can totally change the game for growth, but you need the right key to unlock it. And that key is often a well-crafted plan that speaks the funder's language.
And if you're going through this and thinking, wow, I could use some help pulling this all together, Jim Thomas does offer assistance.
Right, he works with gym owners on this exact thing. You can reach out to him directly.
The number to reach him is 214-629-7223.
Or you can email him at jthomas@fmconsulting.net. That's jsthomas@fmconsulting.net.
It's definitely a big undertaking writing a plan like this.
It is, but it's foundational work. It forces you to get crystal clear on every part of your business.
That's maybe the hidden benefit, isn't it? Even if you don't seek funding immediately, the process itself forces clarity. You're proving the viability to yourself first.
Absolutely. That clarity is invaluable, regardless of funding.
Well, that brings us to the end of this discussion. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thanks everyone. We'll catch you next time.